Okay, so this is round three review um, against Lucas. So I'm playing Goat Control. He's playing Angel Chaos. Um, this is actually day two of the tournament. So I know his entire list, and he knows mine, presumably. They've been published on Duelist Grounds. So he's playing basically standard Angel Chaos list. He sides Gravekeeper's Spy and Guard, though, the Spy engine. So, go first. There's not much I can do with this hand. It's actually not a great hand. So I just set Saku and pass. I think I'm going to decide to take this Angel hit because, for one, like using Saku there doesn't really give me any good momentum. I'd like to draw a card for my turn, see what I get, and then decide whether I want to use Saku next turn. It's still early. Yeah, it sucks to take the life point damage there, but my hand is like not good, so I'm gonna be taking some life points early in this game. I'm gonna have to claw my way back. So the best way to fight back, getting back in the game, would be to regain momentum somehow. And just by firing off Saku turn one, that's not gonna help much with momentum unless he has no other monster. But now, I kind of make the calculation that damage is getting worse and my hand's not getting any better. So he sets a monster after I kill Angel. Yeah, I think pretty standard play is to just sort of press, get that monster off the field. It was a Dekoichi, so choosing to attack there was actually pretty good for me. It's debatable here. I could set Heavy Storm, set up like an Air Knight play, but I ended up setting Mirror Force. Now, I totally regret not setting Heavy. Yeah. So I choose to set Azura next. For one, because he's not likely to play like Duster MST on that Mirror Force. Because it's been down, it could be Goat, I could chain it. So I could like protect that Azura fairly confidently. And sort of use the Azura to give me board presence, which is what I really need right now. Okay, so he didn't fall for setting a third spell or trap. He sets a monster. I happen to have drawn Graceful here, so yeah, I'm gonna make a push. Sort of the longer I wait, like especially now that you commit a monster face down to the board. If I were to wait another turn, I could get hurt pretty easily. So I have to make some kind of push here. So playing a heavy for basically a 2 for 2 because I'm gonna flip that Azura and destroy all those tokens. I play Grace. Well, the main reason I played it was because I had Air Knight and Premature in my hand. So I'm pretty much thinking I'm going to do that next. So I discard Tribe and Air Knight. I think discarding Tribe there makes sense. I don't have Sinister. I kind of want all the cards in my hand to be live at this stage in the game. This is like a critical stage in the game. So I played Knock, and it turns out he bluffed with the Setsuk. So it's not great. Obviously, it would have been better if I had not done that, but there's nothing I can really do. Now here, a standard play would probably be to set Dust just to protect Air Knight from from Snatch Steal. But I'm actually kind of more worried about uh, like a heavy storm or like a situation where he like plays MST or breaker on my set dust. So I don't actually want to set dust. Um, I would feel pretty vulnerable doing that, just as vulnerable as you would like letting your internet get snatched, really. So I end up setting goat. I think it's a good opportunity to set goat. I'm going to be on, I have just the one internet out. It's chainable. So now if he plays storm, it doesn't hurt me like that badly. If he does play snatch, one, he's risking dust. So maybe he wouldn't want to do that. Two, I have a breaker and a snatch of my own. I can take it right back. And I know he does not main his own dusts. Okay, so he just set 3 cards. I'll just choose to activate Duo now. I always like activating Duo when my opponent has like 4 or fewer cards. Ideally I want to get them when they have 3. But 4 or fewer seems pretty good. Like, more like more likely to disrupt some kind of combo that they're holding in their hand. So it's just good momentum. So I just try to poke with Airnet, see if he like, just make him kill it, which I'm okay with. I think I'll close out this turn by setting DD Warrior Lady. Yeah, so I can still chain my goat if I want. I haven't summoned. I also choose to set Dust. Just because the next push I make, I might want it to go through for sure. Also kind of like representing a stronger board. I have a few more cards on him, and pretty good cards too. Even though I haven't like, I guess I did Trinity him. That duo was pretty important. So he has BLS for the face down DD Warrior Lady, which is fine. I was kind of using that DD Warrior Lady as bait for knock. But baiting out BLS there is pretty good too. Now I can probably steal it, I think. So I have like a combination of Dust, Breaker, and Snatch. Oh, wow. He's choosing to like get really aggressive here and put me in lethal damage range. But that's just not going to work because I've set Goat. I've had it set and active ever since I ended the turn with Air Knight on the field. Yeah, so obviously I'm going to take a Gatling attack and use it for a token. Trade it for a token. That's totally good for me, even though I don't have meta yet. So he's attempting to kill as many tokens as he can before he ends his turn. Fortunately for me, he gets only 2 heads, leaving me with 1 token, 1 more attack blocker, so that's good. Yeah, so let me explain my line of thinking here. This is like kind of crucial. So he ends his turn just with the Gatling, and he sets a new Speller Trap, which I respond to in his end phase. I chain Dust. That other Speller Trap, I'm not super sure what it is, but he has used 1 Goat. He has used Mirror and Saku. Could be Booker Ring, which probably is actually. But I'm gonna chain to hit the new card just to to guarantee that it's not gonna get chained on my following turn. So I'm going for a kill here. So I'll chain Dust and use Dust to set Ring. So I'm setting up basically to snatch his Gatling and attack for game. But I also have Breaker. There's no reason for me not to Breaker here. The worst thing he could do is Torrential, but then he'd leave himself on a single card. Yeah, so he rings my Breaker, which is going to put me to 32 and him to 45. but I still have game because can do 5,200 damage with Gatling plus ring on Gatling, and I'm avoiding bringing myself down to 0. I'm only going to go down to 600. So that's the game. Yeah, I was kind of setting that up for a while. That's like a classic example of like the utility for a Go control player to hold ring in their hand. Uh, like I could, my ring was a win condition, and I basically got to hold it in my hand as long as possible and keep it from, getting hit by heavy storm. I was able to do like the pro dust play, end phase dust, and then set ring with dust effect. So yeah, he's playing Angel Chaos. I'm not sure if he's going to side into Spies or not, but I'm going to side anyway. I will take out DD Warrior Lady and 2 Dust for 2 Dark Mimic and my 3rd copy of Book of Moon. So I have a pretty good hand. 2 flip effects and knock and ring. That's like a great way to open the game. He kind of one-ups me here. He's opening Pot Duo. Hits my Mimic, which is okay. So of the 4 cards here, I'm going to decide to discard Heavy Storm. Even though, people will tell you Heavy Storm's like a power spell. You need to hold it all the time. But it's really only useful if you're making a push, right? So the hand I was left with was Knock, Merchant, Ring. That is like a perfect opening hand. So the Heavy Storm there was the odd one out. That's the card that wouldn't, doesn't go together combo with the others. So kind of fortunately, I guess, I drew MST, although I don't really want that either for the same reason I want Storm. But that just makes me feel better about choosing to discard Storm and keep Ring, Knock, and Merchant, all 3 of those cards I really want. So I'm going to knock his set just to, yeah, I didn't think it would be Faith. Like, there's no reason for him to, like, set Faith there turn 1. After such a strong opening, he can bait knock. But I really want to, I want to be the one in control of the game. Even though I have as few cards, as I possibly could have opened with. So I get to basically make like an opening move, setting a monster and a trap against no monsters. So it's good momentum for me. So he has a Recruiter. He's playing around Morphing Jar by setting an extra card. Ring on this Angel here is not great value with Ring. I'd rather Ring a more important card, something that's going to do more damage to me than an Angel that's just going to poke for 14 every turn. Even though I usually do like to protect flip effects, I'm just kind of hoping I'll draw another one. So I get Saku off Merchant, then I draw Meta for turn. Meta is not live yet, unfortunately. Yeah, so now I choose to Saku because I have 2 traps down. But maybe that was a misplay, actually. Maybe I should have just taken the attack. Now he can just summon something else next turn, and like force me to use my ring, which I'm trying to hold as long as I can. Yeah, so I'm straight bricking right now. I'm drawing Call and then Air Knight, two dead cards, and Meta. And MST. MST is pretty dead too. I have nothing to do with MST. So I drew Faith. I'm going to set MST and Faith, kind of do my best to protect this Faith here. At pretty much all costs. If I can resolve this Faith on my turn, I have a really strong chance of getting right back in the game. So I will choose to ring his Azura because I want the field presence with that Faith. furthermore, I would be getting back Knock or Storm. If I can wait, another draw before I flip Faith, I have, potential to draw a better spell, something I would actually want to get back. So, wow, he had the graceful to give himself a dark monster as well. So he just goes full Trinity. And yeah, he has BLS as well to answer my Faith. It's pretty much the worst case scenario there. Now I think I just lose. There's really nothing I can do. I can try to slow roll this a little more, hope to draw some Trinity. That's my only hope, really. I can't call anything. I can call back Merchant for meta. I can call back Jar, but I don't have a way to flip it down. So I'm just gonna set my whole hand. I'm no longer playing around any cards like Heavy Storm, really, because if he has the nuts, he has the nuts. I'm in such a bad position that I can't play around anything. I have to take huge risks. So I draw a book here, which I wish I had the ability to know the top card of my deck, because I would have played End Phase Call the Haunted on Morphing Jar had I known I would draw a book. But instead I chose to take 3,000 damage, because there's really no way for me to stop that BLS right now. If I had wanted to, call for Merchant and then play meta, I could play the call in my turn. There's no reason to end phase. So there's no reason not to see the next card before I decide that. I have no idea why I played an MST there. I must have been reading something important. Maybe I was reading a possible set Storm or something. But I ended up hitting a Saku, which does nothing for me. So I kind of wish I did not spam MST there. That was probably a bad play. So yeah, I'm going to go for the end phase Morphing Jar here. It's really my only hope. I have to resolve Jar and then hope to draw a great hand that can deal with his entire field. Hope that he does not draw Heavy Storm. There's only maybe a 1 in 5. Maybe he has Heavy Storm now and he's just been saving it forever. Kind of doubt it. It's probably in his deck. So he has a 1 in 4 chance to get Storm from my own jar. And then if he does that, I probably just lose. So yeah, I'm gonna make the decision here to book my own jar, of course. Set meta, obviously, but I'm also gonna set Serpent, because I need these two meta to be live immediately. I know that you'd rather probably discard Serpent and draw 5 new cards and use your summon on something else if everything was going well, but I feel like that's risky. I need to activate these meta as my next move, really. Furthermore, I have no more Air Knights in the grave. I only have 1 Air Knight in the deck. I just sent 1 to the grave, so it's not like I would be drawing Air Knight so I could tribute Jar. So I didn't need the normal summon for that. Okay, so his hand, he had a pretty good hand. He had Chaos Sorcerer, Torrential, 2 meta, and Knock. So I feel pretty good about that, actually. Maybe I get lucky and he doesn't draw the second Knock, and I can end up setting Faith or something. So I play meta here to try to bait a book, because I want to snatch the BLS. Yeah, so he fell for it. He books the Thousand Eyes. So I'll just meta the second that Thousand Eyes that was just flipped down, and basically do the same play. I can't let him get a Faith off either, and I haven't seen one, so there's a good chance that's Faith. I think it was. So now I will snatch. taking the BLS. I kind of just need to hope he has no way to take his BLS back. In hindsight, that's pretty silly because looking at his graveyard, he has Storm, MST, and Breaker, and he just drew 6 new cards. It's pretty high chance he drew one of those. So, the right play maybe was not to do that. Maybe I should have just banished the BLS. The other issue I was having is I had that face-up jar on the field, and anything with like 1,000 or more attack, so like a Sengen, could have killed it. All he would have to do is flip 1,000 Eyes down. So he is MST for the snatch, I think. Oh no, he doesn't want that for some reason because he also remembering he has Breaker in his hand too. At this point, I'm incredibly salty about the way this duel has gone. I made a couple mistakes perhaps, but he drew like the actual literal nuts. Shoutouts to Alan Pennington's team. So he wants to kill my other face down card, which is Scapegoat. So that sucks. I can't chain Scapegoat here to like save myself. But my hand is so bad that I probably wouldn't be able to save myself. Like that Premature is just a dead card. I can't activate it. I think that's why I didn't set it as a bluff. But maybe I should have, given that he has the MST that he's going to be using on my set cards. I don't know. I still don't think that's the right play because oh, sorry, he doesn't have Breaker. He just has Book for the 1,000 Eyes. So then he's going to double attack with BLS for game. Yeah, so I scoop. So on to game 3. Hopefully I do not get Trinity'd again. Okay, this is an interesting hand. I have like the double Air Knight, which is not something I want, but I have Serpent, Torrential, Jar. So I don't like setting Jar turn 1 when you can't protect it. So that's kind of why I chose to set Serpent. That Serpent, if he doesn't cross it out, it's also something I just tribute for Air Knight and press on turn 2. He had the Tribe though, so that to me looked like he was going to play Knock. That's why I played Torrential right there. And now I have a Book to protect Jar, so I'm going to go for the Jar play now. Whoa. He's really confident I didn't set Serpent there. He's right, but he met as a 5th, which is like a big investment for 1,000 Eyes that I just simply book. So yeah, happy I got to protect Jar there. Now, like, this is a bit of a strange hand that I have to deal with having Jar. I mean, it's not great. I'd love to have more spells and traps I could set. I also know when I flip this Jar, I don't have any Air Knights left in deck, so I'm not going to be able to tribute them. So I may as well just summon Sangan here, or set it. Choose to summon it because there's 1,000 Eyes on the field, even if he has Torrential. It's really a 1-for-1. I wouldn't get to activate Jar, but that would be okay. So now I flip the Jar, discard 2 Air Knights and Sinister. He discards 3 cards. Storm, which is big for me. Whenever you discard Storm off Jar, it changes what you can do after. You can set your entire hand, which is obviously important when there's a Jar on the field. Storm, Mirror Force, and Chaos Sorcerer. So yeah, in this matchup, Jar gives me an edge. Like, discarding Chaos Monsters is one of the best ways to counter them. I'd much rather discard Air Knight and him discard Chaos Sorcerer. That is a big win for me in terms of setting up my game. So I kill the 1,000 Eyes in battle, do 1,000 damage. I still have Prima and Nox set. Yeah, I decided not to get aggressive with the Air Knight there. He had Mirror Force in hand. That suggests that he has a Saku down. So I'll just hold Prima, save it for later. It's probably not gonna go anywhere because I got rid of Storm. So there's less impetus to be aggressive with it. So I set Book and Sakuratsu. The reason I don't set 2 Book there, one, he's probably not going to play Thousand Eyes on one of these monsters. They're both floaters. And 2 would be, if I set another Book, I'd just be locking myself out of playing the next spell or trap that I draw. Interesting. So I drew Storm. So if I can start using my set cards here, I might be able to get him with a big Storm play. And by that time, I may want to reset my jar on my own if it's still on the field. So yeah, I'll play Knock there. Again, unlikely to be Faith, but I'm trying to use my cards that I have set. I'm just converting, making the 1-for-1 trades as quick as I can because I have more cards than he does. I think I have 2 more cards. So yeah, like I kind of suspected, he set Mirror and he had a Sakuratsu for the Air Knight. But I choose to book the Air Knight actually because I can end my turn with Saku and Book to protect Air Knight. So that's pretty good. And then I may be able to flip to play Storm on the following turn and stop him from, setting a trap for that Air Knight. So I aggressively decide to set Faith as well. I'm kind of reading that he doesn't have Torrential because he set a DD Warrior Lady with a 6-card hand and 3 spells or traps. So I'm thinking he has Goat face down. And maybe Book, Goat and Book. I really hope he doesn't have Torrential. If he does, then he just outplayed me. I can live with that. So he was graceful. He's gracefuling for something here. Maybe Chaos. He had the Serpent. Okay. So this even further suggests he does not have Torrential down. If he had Torrential, he would have kept Sangan and set Sangan and Torrential. So, I have a pretty hard read. This new card here, it's not Torrential. I will, however, he's ending his turn. I'm going to end phase Book my jar. And then start my turn by playing Heavy. And what that does is it plays around the possibility that this new set card is Ring of Destruction. Yeah, so there's the 3 for 2 Heavy. He's playing the Consolation Book on my Sangan. That doesn't do anything. And he had a meta set. I guess he was just playing for the fact that, I might reuse my jar. So he's setting guards. He had MST set too. I'm not sure why he wouldn't end phase MST at all. I don't have a dark in my graveyard, which is a problem. So now I'm in this weird position where, I know that that's not DD Warrior Lady, Could be Shining Angel. Yeah, maybe it is Shining Angel. So, like, I would ideally like to kill him in one turn, but I don't think I can. So the only way that that's going to happen really is if I have an out to that face down monster, and I can play meta to get a dark, or graceful to get a dark in the graveyard. I do have a normal summon, so I could, if I draw Tribe off of Jar, but I'd still have to discard the BLS. So yeah, it's difficult. So what I'm thinking about here, I think, is there's really two cards I want to get with Faith: Pot or Knock. And maybe I should have just like kept Faith down, set Mirror, flip Jar, and just given up on the BLS in my hand. But I don't want to, and I think that's actually a mistake. Should have given up on it. Should have just I should have flipped Faith after I got my new hand from Morphing Jar. But now I obviously already flipped Faith. I got a little careless, so I have to follow through with that. So I could take Pot, hoping. I have like 23 cards in deck. Haven't seen Meta or Graceful. If I see either of those cards, I can summon BLS, most likely. So it's like 4 cards to get in after drawing 2. But I still don't think that's good. It's probably like 10 or 15, 20% chance. Yeah, so I make the safe play here and I take Knock. So the reason I take Knock is I recognize he basically needs to resolve a Faith in order to get back in this game. So, Faith for Heavy Storm probably is what he would need to counter this big push I'm about to make. So I use Knock. It was a Dekoichi, but he did have a Faith in hand. He was just trying to wait a turn if he could. Also discard Snatch, which is pretty good. So yeah, I get 5 new cards, including 2 new traps that I can set to make my board stronger. I have no fear. His Storm is gone. 2 Faiths are gone. I don't think he plays Call or Prima. Therefore, I can set my entire hand. Probably a misplay not playing Sook to flip the Faith down for the extra 800 attack, which would put him below duo range. So it's kind of, yeah, that's arguably a misplay. I think I was waiting to see what I would draw off Air Knight, see if that would change how I want to use my normal summon. But in hindsight, maybe the only card I would normal summon there would be like Tribe to kill my own Morphing Jar. Because I had a Mimic, a Faith, and a Sook. Like, what new card am I going to get that's going to change my normal summon in main phase 2? Pretty much nothing, right? So I got another Mimic that obviously doesn't change my calculus at all. But I still have a really strong board, and he has like no way to break it without having access to Heavy Storm. He probably got a Chaos Monster, but I can deal with that. I have a Faith Lock going. I have Sakuretsu, Call, and Mirror Force, and an Air Knight up, and he has 14. So I guess he's just going for... Maybe he's going for the double attack and then like flip Jar down. Yeah, maybe. But I think the standard play is just Sakuretsu the BLS. Get rid of that threat. And he scoops. He doesn't have a good follow-up. He knows he's in a bad spot. So that was match 3. Now 3-0. On to the finals.